The Manchester Community Library welcomed its new executive director, Ed Surjan, and introduced him to area residents who stopped by for a meet and greet on Wednesday, September 7th, held outside the library under its event tent. Now closing in on the 8th anniversary of its opening back in November of 2014, the library also functions as a community center, hosting speakers and a range of special programs and other events, as well as offering spaces for children and young adults to read and study. Shortly before the meet and greet for Mr. Surjan began, we had a chance to speak with him about what attracted him to the position when it became open earlier this year, and what he saw as some of the short and longer term objectives he wanted to focus on.
When John Clark approached me, I initially told him that I thought I was an unlikely fit. And in reality, when we began to talk about it, I realized that there was something extraordinary here, which is not merely the community, the region, the state. So, we can talk about Manchester, we can talk about Bennington County, we can talk about Vermont, and that's all unbelievably attractive. I think many people relocate here for a good reason, but specific to the job, I had a chance to combine the two major themes of my adult life, my career paths. So first, as an entrepreneur, starting, running, turning around tech businesses, I've got a fair bit of experience with administration, budgeting, running organizations. And then I also have the library side as a degreed librarian who's been now working for 12 years as a second career. And to combine both of these and to be able to do this and serve a larger community and region than was possible in my school librarian jobs is very attractive. Well, the first thing is to ensure that we are really, really good operationally as a library. I mean, our first and foremost and absolutely irresolvable reality is that we are a library and we need to be darn good at it. And I think that we're in a lovely position with now a increasingly high quality staff to combine with our excellent facilities and the great support of the community, and naturally that includes our volunteers and all the wonderful financial support we receive. Really, the most critical part of my job and our job as the Manchester Community Library is to know this community intimately. And that does not happen in a day, a week, a month, or even a year. If I'm here 10 years from now, I'm still going to be doing that. And so hopefully listening very carefully to this community is going to be a big priority. And so if you ask me, what's probably on the horizon that people should look for, we will definitely be doing a number of events this winter to get together with different members of our community at a different a variety of venues so that we can gather this input and then incorporate it into our programs and services going forward. Last but not least, I am very, very glad to be here, and it's important for everyone to know that I am fully invested in this place and in this work to serve this community. And so I've received an unbelievably warm welcome. I'm deeply grateful for it, and honestly, it's been a little humbling.
A bit later, after the meet and greet had begun, John Clark, the chairman of the library's Board of Trustees, also made some introductory remarks.
But I wanted to let you know what some of the traits and characteristics that Ed brought to the table that were very appealing to those of us on the search committee and the Board of Trustees. First and foremost, he had an entrepreneurial background. He had run his own company in Cleveland, Ohio for a number of years with multiple employees. Then he and his wife moved to the East Coast and had an antiques business. And then there was and he began volunteering at a library in the Berkshires. And the librarian, the director of the library there, encouraged him to walk the walk as well as talking the talk, and encouraged him to pursue a librarian degree. And he did that. But he had as well, the other thing that was appealing was a technology background, and as libraries become more sophisticated, that was equally appealing in our minds. But the fact that he was a librarian, had an MLS from Syracuse, was sort of the clincher, because we weren't necessarily looking for a librarian to be the executive director. We were looking for a nonprofit administrator, but to be able to have that librarian background and all those other skills was particularly appealing, as I said.
After working through adjusting to the COVID pandemic, which saw many libraries around the state struggle to maintain regular operating hours, the library is back to a regular schedule and open 6 days a week, closed on Sunday. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.